United Way Niagara kicked off its campaign September 14th with Niagara College President Sean Kennedy as the chair this year. The announcement of this year's $5 million goal took place at a unique new event. Your TV was there to see the action. CEO Francis Hallworth, a truck pull. How did you come up with that idea?
Well, it wasn't our idea, I have to admit. So one of our colleagues from United Way of Hamilton, we knew that they were doing it, and there is so much excitement around doing the truck pull. We haven't had our kickoff breakfast in a couple of years, and we thought this is our opportunity to try something totally different for our kickoff. And so we copied their idea. They helped us with what to do. Then we got St. Catharines Fire Services on board and City of St. Catharines, and had an amazing day. Amazing weather. Thank you very much for coming out to do the video. All of the teams had so much fun.
Was there only the two teams? Is that it? Or were there more?
No, there were 16 teams.
16 teams?
Yes, and I do have to say that there is a team who won 2 awards that day. General Motors won fastest pull, and they also raised the most amount of money. But City of St. Catharines won team spirit.
Tell me about the campaign goal. $5 million, that's made some big headlines. Biggest goal ever for United Way Niagara.
So yes, it is a very big goal, and there's an awful lot of zeros in that number. But there is certainly an incredible need in the community, and so that's what we need to aim for. Our campaign chair is filled with enthusiasm, energy, and passion for United Way, so we're very hopeful that we are going to hit 5 million.
When you look at this in comparison to previous goals, why is the need so high right now?
Right, so many people are struggling on a number of levels. So we all know about what's happening with rent. Cost of living is so high. People can't even find apartments to live in. But when you're maxed on your rent and you're paying almost everything you bring in on rent, then what do you do about food and all the other necessities that you have? So our food banks and food programs and Good Food Box, they're all seeing increased need.
Are there gift matching opportunities during this campaign?
Yes, we have 2 gift matching opportunities. The first one I want to talk about is Norris Walker. He is our leadership match sponsor for this year, so we're thrilled that Norris got on board to help us. And then we also have the new donor match, which is Warmald Mass Keen Lipinski. They are supporting us this year with the match, and they work. The matches really work. People get excited about them. They work very well in workplaces and with individual donors.
So if I'm a new donor, if I haven't donated to the United Way before, that would be matched? And how do you identify new donors?
So we can tell if you're a new donor as soon as your gift comes into our office, because we know who our existing donors are. And you could actually receive a double match. If you're a new donor and you give $1,200, you qualify for both matches.
Francis, employee deductions are an important part of the United Way campaign each and every year. How do you promote them during this campaign?
So we have contacts within about 200 different organizations. So we touch base with them, throughout the entire year, but specifically like in late summer to get set up to run their campaign. And so everyone does it different. Some people start right when our kickoff is. Some people like to do it in October. We have some employee workplaces that like to do it around Halloween, so there's some fun around it. And we work with each company individually and like tailor their own kickoff, and whether they get pledge forms on paper or whether they get the electronic version. So it's quite individual.
You've had a pretty busy summer this year. A couple of golf tournaments, some other events as well. How have you managed it all, and how successful were those events?
So yes, it's been a really busy summer. Now that everyone is back to being out and about, we had 2 golf tournaments, and thank you so much for being the MC at the Cherry Hill.
Well, thank you for inviting me to do that.
Yes, that was a wonderful day. They were very successful. That was followed very closely by putting together 2,000 backpacks, which was more of a challenge because, as we all know, the supply chains aren't quite back to normal yet. So we had to order things very early and do some switching out at the last minute. But all of those got out to the school boards and the agencies that distribute them to children. And on top of that, we've also been very busy with the pop-up markets. So we have been doing those all summer and trying to increase the number of pop-up markets that we have throughout Niagara.
You also had a community garden program?
Yes, so we're the holder of the Niagara Garden Network, which doesn't mean we run the gardens, but we support over 1,200 gardens across Niagara. We also we help coordinate the pop-up markets. We don't actually run them. They're actually run by agencies and community groups, but we're behind the scenes getting the equipment they need to start with, or helping them get food, helping train people. And we've had over 55 pop-up markets so far this year, which have distributed over 15,000 pounds of fresh produce.
Wow, it's incredible.
It's really needed, and often these pop-up markets are in neighborhoods where people are living below the poverty line. So this is their opportunity to get fresh local food.
Aiming at that $5 million, what are some of the things that we can expect in the next month or two? Any special events coming up?
You won't see special events that are hosted by United Way in the next little while, but what happens is there are events within companies. So each company decides how they want to do their kickoff, or if they want to have any events. But we ourselves, our events kind of ended with our kickoff, and you probably won't see an event again until in the new year when we do a celebration, and we can all be together again.
And that's a big thing here, that, you know, that truck pull was really one of the first times that you could get people together.
Yes, and we are really looking forward to getting everyone together in the new year so we can celebrate this campaign and see many people for the first time.
Will there be a return for the United Way breakfast?
Well, I'm not sure. We're actually doing a debrief this afternoon, but based on people's comments at the event, they want it again. And
the truck pull, you mean?
The truck pull. They absolutely want the truck pull again. So we'll figure that out over, the next 6 months or so and decide, do we still do the breakfast or just focus on the truck pull? Because we will have our get together in the new year when we can bring everyone together in one room.
The way I see the truck pull too is it builds excitement for those employee donation drives.
Yes, and everyone had so much fun. Some people dressed up and were cheering and singing and doing all kinds of funny things. We're probably going to make it a little bit harder for people next year, maybe make it a little bit longer, maybe add some water to the water tank on the truck.
A little mud pit.
A little mud pit, never thought about that, yeah. And maybe try and do something so people can have their lunch there, some type of food, and make it a bigger event.
Frances, good luck on the $5 million goal. Good luck with the campaign. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.